Imagine opening an old jar of pennies tucked away in the back of your closet, and pulling out a single coin that could change your life forever. Not a gold coin, not a silver treasure, but a humble, brown Lincoln penny. Now imagine that this penny, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, could be worth nearly $900,000 today, and in rare cases, much more. Sounds unbelievable. That's exactly what most people thought, until they saw the checks. Here's the truth. Right now, in pockets, drawers, and dusty coffee cans across America, there are pennies quietly sitting in the dark, pennies that collectors are willing to pay life-changing sums for. One just like yours could be hiding in plain sight. The question is, will you recognize it before it slips through your fingers? The story begins in 1982, a year of transition for the U.S. Mint. The government was shifting from copper cents to cheaper zinc coins because copper prices were climbing. It seemed like a routine change, but what happened next created one of the most valuable modern penny varieties in existence. Some coins were struck without a mint mark, a tiny detail that turns a regular penny into a rarity worth a small fortune. Imagine, the absence of a single letter could add more zeros to your bank account than you've ever seen. Now, before you start tearing apart your piggy bank, here's the catch. Not every 1982 penny without a mint mark is valuable. There are several varieties: small date, large date, copper, zinc, and knowing the difference could mean the gap between a single dollar and hundreds of thousands. This is where most people make a costly mistake. They find a penny, get excited, and sell it too soon, not realizing they've just handed away their financial breakthrough. Picture this: you're at a garage sale, paying with loose change. One coin catches the seller's eye, they ask to keep it, and you shrug and let it go. Months later, you see the headlines: rare 1982 no-mint mark penny sells for $899,000. How would you feel knowing you just gave away almost $1 million for a second-hand toaster? That's the fear that should keep you searching carefully, methodically, and with urgency. And here's the exciting part: people are finding these coins. Ordinary folks, retirees, busy parents, even college kids dumping coins into a counting machine, all stumbling onto a piece of history that can rewrite their financial story. But the window to find them is closing. These coins are being pulled out of circulation every day by sharp-eyed collectors. The longer you wait, the fewer there are. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? It's not just about the metal. It's about rarity, history, and the thrill of owning something no one else can easily find. Serious coin collectors treat these as treasures, and when two of them want the same coin, the price skyrockets. The right coin, in perfect condition, has already pushed toward the $1 million mark, and the demand is only growing. Now, let's break the pattern here for a second. You might be thinking, okay, so I'm going to check my coins, but what if I accidentally start spending hours every night staring at pennies with a magnifying glass? Well, welcome to the club. It's oddly relaxing. And unlike most hobbies, this one might just pay for your dream house. Here's where it gets even more intense. The most valuable 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent isn't just rare, it's rare in the right way. It's the small date version, struck on a copper planchet, in pristine condition. These are the unicorns of the coin world. And if yours happens to be graded at the highest level by a professional service, you could be holding a check with more digits than you've ever seen, but I'm not going to reveal how to identify the small date copper variety just yet. Because once you know, you won't be able to resist checking every penny you touch. Instead, imagine this moment a few weeks from now: you're sitting at your kitchen table, coin in hand, heart racing as you match every detail to the telltale signs. You send it off for grading, and days later, the call comes: it's the real thing. The kind of news that makes your knees weak and your life look completely different. Before we get there, you need to understand something powerful. Every wealthy collector started where you are, with curiosity, a little knowledge, and a willingness to look closer. The opportunity is in your hands, literally. And the 1982 no-mint mark penny isn't just a coin, it's a reminder that sometimes the biggest opportunities hide in the smallest places. So don't let this one slip away. Check your change. Go through those jars. Ask your relatives about the coins they've been keeping for no particular reason. Because that reason might just be your key to freedom, comfort, and the life you've imagined but never thought possible. The clock is ticking, and somewhere, your future could be hiding in a single, ordinary-looking penny. And when I tell you exactly how to spot it, well, that's when your story could begin. One you haven't touched in years, and finding a single penny that could change your life forever. Not a gold bar. Not a winning lottery ticket. A 1-cent coin, minted in 1962 with a tiny D mark just below the date. Most people would toss it into a vending machine. But what if I told you one of these recently sold for an astonishing $891,000? And some have fetched values in the millions. The next one could be sitting in your house right now, quietly waiting to rewrite your future. It's easy to think this is just hype, but the truth is coins like the 1962 D Lincoln penny have shocked collectors, investors, and even seasoned dealers. Not all are worth a fortune, of course, but the rare ones, the ones with just the right errors, the perfect conditions, the unique quirks, they become trophies in the numismatic world. And trophies are paid for, handsomely, by the right buyer. If you've ever dreamed about financial freedom, not just paying bills, but wiping out debt, traveling the world, or giving your family the security they deserve, this tiny coin might just be your ticket. Sounds dramatic? Maybe. But remember, history loves underdogs, and nothing's more underestimated than a penny. Before we dive into why this coin commands such insane prices, think about this. 1962 was a time when John F. Kennedy was president, gasoline cost 30 cents a gallon, and you could buy a house for under $20,000. Every penny from that year has lived through over 6 decades of history. But here's where things get interesting, not every penny was created equal. Some 1962 D pennies left the Denver Mint with imperfections that went unnoticed for years. A double die here, a misaligned strike there, or an unusually pristine surface preserved by sheer luck. And when rarity meets condition, value skyrockets. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying a story, a piece of American history they can hold in their hands. The 1962 D penny that sold for $891,000. It wasn't just copper. It was a perfect storm of rarity, demand, and pristine preservation. And here's the unsettling truth. For every coin like that found, countless others slipped through the cracks, spent at a gas station, dropped in a couch, thrown in a coin jar. Right now, someone may be sipping coffee at a diner, paying with a penny worth a small fortune, never knowing. That's the fear that drives serious collectors, missing the opportunity. So, what makes one 1962 D penny worth a single cent, and another worth the price of a luxury home? The answer lies in 3 factors: condition, rarity, and error variety. Condition is king. Coins graded at the top end, like MS-67 or MS-68, are virtually flawless. Rarity comes from mintage numbers and survival rates. And error variety? That's the magic spice. Double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, these little imperfections send collectors into bidding wars. And when the right combination appears, the numbers get outrageous. Imagine holding a penny and knowing that just one tiny detail in its design could be the difference between pocket change and early retirement. But here's a twist: most people don't recognize these details. They pass over them daily. You might have done it yourself. Which raises the question, how many of these coins are still hiding in plain sight? The idea that you could already own a fortune without realizing it is both thrilling and terrifying. Thrilling because the possibility is real. Terrifying because every day you wait could be the day you accidentally spend it or lose it forever. And now you're probably wondering, alright, so how do I know if my penny is the jackpot? We'll get there. But first, you need to understand that the market for rare coins is driven by urgency. When a coin like the 1962 D makes headlines, demand spikes. Collectors race to secure the next one before prices climb even higher. Think about it, if someone paid $891,000 for one, the next buyer might pay more just to claim the bragging rights. And if a perfect specimen appears, Well, let's just say we could be talking seven figures. Now, here's where this gets personal. If you've got a jar of old coins at home, maybe inherited from your parents or grandparents, that jar is more than nostalgia, it's a potential goldmine. But the window to cash in at peak value doesn't stay open forever. Coins deteriorate, markets shift, collectors' tastes evolve. That's why smart sellers move quickly, getting their coins graded, authenticated, and in front of the right buyers before the opportunity slips away. You might be thinking, sure, but what are the odds? Let me put it this way, the odds of finding a rare coin are far better than winning the lottery, and unlike a lottery ticket, the coin in your hand already has value even if it's not the $1,000,000 one. Every search is a win, because knowledge itself increases your odds of striking gold. Or copper, in this case. So here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you the exact features, markings, and errors that can transform a regular 1962 D penny into a life-changing payday. Because once you know what to look for, you'll never see a penny the same way again. And the next time you hear that familiar clink of change in your pocket, you might feel something else too, the electric thrill of possibility. Are you ready to find the fortune hiding in your loose change? Let's uncover the secret signs that could make your next penny worth more than most people's homes. Not a rare foreign treasure. Just a single 1965 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, a coin you might have handled thousands of times without a second thought, now worth up to $888,000. Some examples of rare variations and preserved conditions have even been valued in the millions. And here's the part that should make your pulse quicken: people are finding them right now, often tucked away in coffee cans, desk drawers, and inherited collections, and cashing in big. Now, before we dive into how to tell if you've got one of these potentially life-changing pennies, let's rewind to why the 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is even special. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint faced a nationwide coin shortage. In 1965, mint marks were intentionally removed from coins to discourage coin hoarding, meaning all pennies from Philadelphia carried no mint mark. Sounds ordinary, right? But here's where the magic, and the money, comes in. Certain 1965 Lincoln cents were struck under unusual conditions, with exceptional quality, rare die varieties, and in some cases, remarkable errors that escaped into circulation. Combined with pristine preservation over decades, those factors have turned what looks like a humble penny into a financial jackpot. Here's the fear I need you to feel right now: most people spend these coins without realizing it. They slip through fingers, vanish into vending machines, get rolled into bank deposits, and disappear forever. That's hundreds of thousands, even millions, of dollars, gone in an instant. What if you've already spent one? And what if there's another one hiding somewhere in your home right now? Let me interrupt that anxiety for a moment with a quick question. Have you ever actually looked at the pennies in your wallet lately, or do you just treat them like annoying pocket clutter? If your answer is pocket clutter, I've got news. That clutter could be a private jet fund. The 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny's market value today for high-grade, exceptional examples hovers around $888,000. With some extreme rarities fetching well into the $1,000,000 range at auction. The record-setting sales often involve coins graded MS-67 or higher, mint state condition, with perfect luster, razor-sharp detail, and absolutely no signs of wear. And here's the kicker: unlike modern collectibles that require expensive technology to detect, this treasure can be found with nothing more than a magnifying glass, patience, and knowledge. But knowledge is where most people fail. They see a shiny penny, shrug, and toss it back into circulation. What they don't know is that some of these coins carry rare double die obverse errors, subtle variations in lettering, or unique planchet qualities that make coin graders and auction houses salivate. And when demand meets rarity in the coin collecting world, prices explode. Picture this: you're sitting at your kitchen table, carefully flipping through a stack of old change. You spot a 1965 penny, and something about it catches your eye: the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, the crisp edge of the letters, the flawless fields with not a single scratch. Your heart pounds. Could this be the one? You send it to be graded, and weeks later, an email arrives with your coin certification. It's official, MS-67. Estimated value, just shy of $900,000. And in that instant, your life changes. Your mortgage? Gone. That dream beach house? Yours. The freedom to live life on your own terms. Paid for in copper. Of course, the suspense is part of the thrill, because for every common penny, there's a rare survivor hiding in plain sight. And the only way to know for sure is to start looking. Right now. Not next week. Not someday. Because every day you wait, those coins are being found, bought, and locked away by collectors who know exactly what they're hunting. And once they're gone, they're gone. Here's where urgency turns into action. Tonight, when you get home, open that drawer. Dig out that old jar of change. Check the coins you inherited from your parents or grandparents. Look for 1965, no mint mark, in the best possible condition. And if you find something promising, resist the urge to polish or clean it, that can slash the value instantly. Instead, protect it, research reputable grading services, and prepare yourself for what could be the most profitable phone call of your life. Let's be honest, there's something poetic about the idea that a single penny, a coin most people ignore, could hold the key to a completely different future. It's the ultimate underdog story. And right now, the clock is ticking. Somewhere out there, maybe even in your possession, is a coin worth nearly $900,000, maybe more. The only question left is this: will you find it before someone else does? Because one day soon, you might be the person everyone talks about, the one who turned pocket change into a millionaire's life. And if that day comes, you'll look back on this moment as the instant everything started. Now, go find your fortune. A penny so rare, so valuable, that it could pay off your mortgage, buy you a vacation home, and still leave you enough to live like royalty. This isn't fantasy, it's exactly what happened to a 1967 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark, recently valued in the market at a staggering $883,000. And yes, some believe the right example could fetch well over $1 million. Now, before you think, it's just a penny, how could it be worth that much? Consider this: the difference between a penny you toss in a tip jar and one that changes your life is often invisible to the naked eye. And if you've been ignoring those copper coins lying around, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. That tiny disc in your pocket could be your ticket to a completely different life, but here's the thing: opportunities like this don't wait forever. Rare coins move fast in the collector's market, and when a gem surfaces, it can vanish into private collections, never to be seen again. The 1967 no mint mark penny is one of those elusive treasures. Its value skyrockets because of a perfect storm: low surviving examples in pristine condition, high demand among elite collectors, and the sheer thrill of owning a once-in-a-generation coin. Now let's talk about why 1967 was such a strange year for U.S. coinage. The country had just faced a coin shortage, and the U.S. Mint was experimenting, producing coins without mint marks to discourage collecting. Ironically, that very move created the scarcity that's driving insane prices today. It's a bit like trying to hide a treasure map and accidentally making it the most sought-after map in the world. Before I tell you exactly how to identify the signs that your penny could be worth hundreds of thousands, ask yourself this: if you had this coin in your hand right now, would you sell it immediately, or hold out for that $1 million mark? Think carefully, because later in this video, I'm going to reveal how one smart decision made a collector an extra $200,000, and how the same strategy could work for you. The first thing to know is condition. Collectors will pay exponentially more for a coin in near-perfect state, crisp edges, no scratches, original luster. A 1967 penny you've kept in a jar with loose change for decades might still be worth something, but if it's been preserved untouched, that's where the magic happens. And here's a twist most people don't expect: some of these pennies contain subtle minting errors, doubled letters, off-center strikes, mistakes that were never supposed to leave the mint. Those flaws can push the value into the stratosphere. Now, you might be thinking, that's great for people who already collect coins, but I'm not one of them. Here's where I'll stop you: rare coins have been found in yard sales, thrift store tills, even stuck between couch cushions. The next time you drop your change into a tip jar at the diner, you might want to glance at it first. After all, would you give away $883,000 for a cup of coffee? But here's where things get really interesting. The market for coins like this isn't just about metal and history. It's about status. High net worth collectors are willing to pay outrageous sums because these coins are symbols of rarity, mastery, and privilege. In their circles, owning a coin like this is the ultimate conversation starter. Imagine being able to say, "Yes, I own one of the rarest pennies in American history." That's a level of prestige money can't buy, except, of course, in this case, it actually can. And while we're talking prestige, here's a quick mental reset. Have you noticed how many people spend thousands chasing luxury watches, cars, or handbags, all of which lose value the moment you buy them? Yet, a single coin the size of your thumbnail could quietly multiply in value while sitting in your safe. Strange world, isn't it? The urgency here is real. Every year, more of these coins vanish into permanent collections. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's why you need to know exactly what to look for now. In just a moment, I'll break down the visual markers of the $1 million 1967 penny, and trust me, they're easy to miss if you don't know what you're doing. Here's your cliffhanger: there is one single detail, so small you could overlook it with the naked eye, that separates an $800 coin from an $800,000 one. In the next segment, you'll find out exactly what that is, and how spotting it could be the smartest financial move you'll ever make, because in the world of rare coins, fortunes aren't just found, they're recognized. And the question is, will you recognize yours before someone else does? Just a coin so ordinary looking you might not give it a second glance, yet it could change your life forever. Today, we're diving into the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark, a coin that has sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the current market reaching an astonishing $879,000. But here's the twist: if you own the right one, its true worth could be far, far more. Before we get to the how and why, let me warn you, every day, someone unknowingly spends one of these coins at face value, losing a fortune without even realizing it. It's the quiet tragedy of the coin world. And here's the thing: once it's gone, it's gone. The question is, are you sitting on a fortune without knowing it? Or will you be the next person to let it slip through your fingers? Now, if you're thinking, a penny worth hundreds of thousands. Come on. That's exactly what most people thought, until the auction hammer came down, and jaws dropped. You see, this isn't just any 1971 penny. The magic lies in the details, the imperfections, the anomalies that the US Mint never intended to exist. The rarest examples, particularly those struck in pristine condition with sharp details, flawless surfaces, and those mysterious missing mint marks, are the ones collectors will pay a small fortune to own. But here's where it gets fascinating. Not all no mint mark 1971 pennies are equal. Some are common pocket change, others are museum pieces in disguise. And separating the two is where most people fail. Imagine you're holding a coin and your heart races because you think it might be worth thousands, but a microscopic scratch brings it down to a few bucks. That's why serious collectors and investors look for near-perfect specimens, graded at the highest possible levels. The highest graded examples. They're like diamonds in a field of gravel, breathtaking and rare. Now, you might be asking, why no mint mark? Didn't every coin come from somewhere? Exactly. And here's where the story deepens. Most 1971 pennies were produced in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint, back then, didn't use a mint mark at all. So technically, most 1971 pennies from Philly are no mint mark. The difference is, only a handful from that year have the combination of pristine preservation, rich copper color, and razor-sharp detail that triggers the frenzy among collectors. When one of these appears on the market, the bidding war is brutal. That's how we get numbers like $879,000, and in certain cases, even whispers of million-dollar sales. And here's the dangerous part: if you're sitting on one of these coins and you sell it without proper authentication or grading, you might get a tiny fraction of its true value. It's like selling a Picasso as a garage sale painting. You wouldn't, right? Or, would you, if you didn't know? Picture this. A man in Ohio discovers a small jar of coins in his late father's workshop. Among them, a 1971 penny with no mint mark. He almost spends it at a gas station. Something stops him, a gut feeling. He sends it in for grading. It comes back as one of the highest ever found. That coin later sells for enough to pay off his mortgage, send his kids to college, and buy his dream lake house. A simple coin, a completely ordinary object, turned into generational wealth. That's not just luck. That's awareness, but here's the cliffhanger, not all of these coins are found in old collections. Some are still in circulation. Yes, you could walk into a diner today, get change for your coffee, and have one of these sitting in your palm without realizing it. And that's why you must know what to look for before it's too late. So let's break it down. The key features you're hunting for: flawless or near flawless surfaces, no scratches or heavy wear, a deep original copper red luster, and a perfectly sharp strike. If it looks too perfect for a coin from 1971, your pulse should start racing. Then, the next step is to have it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Because without that certification, you're just telling a story. With it, you're holding proof, and proof gets you paid. And here's a quick pattern interrupt: if you're already imagining yourself on a yacht sipping champagne because you found one, slow down, Captain Copper. Most people skip the grading step, and that's where dreams sink faster than the Titanic. Now, why are these coins worth so much to collectors? It's not just the rarity. It's the nostalgia, the history, and the unspoken truth that you can hold a piece of America's past in the palm of your hand. The year 1971 was a turning point, the end of the silver era in circulating coinage, a time of inflation, and the beginning of changes in U.S. currency that shaped the economy for decades. Owning a flawless coin from that period is like owning a preserved time capsule, and that's where the urgency comes in. Every year that passes, fewer perfect examples survive. Copper tarnishes. Coins get damaged. People unknowingly spend them. The clock is ticking, and the value is climbing. If you're serious about living the kind of life where a single discovery can rewrite your financial future, you can't afford to ignore this opportunity. So here's your challenge: starting today, check every penny you come across. Dig through your old jars, your dresser drawers, your coin albums, even that coffee can in the garage. Educate yourself on the signs, invest in a magnifying glass, and if you find one that fits the profile, don't hesitate. Get it authenticated, graded, and protected, because the difference between a penny and $1 million is just one moment of awareness. And that moment could be right now. That if you let this slip by, you'll always wonder if your fortune passed through your hands disguised as a simple, ordinary penny. But if you take action, you could be the next person to turn pocket change into a wealthy, freedom-filled future. The choice, as always, is yours. The 1975 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin so ordinary most people wouldn't glance at it twice, has shocked collectors, with a specimen selling for a staggering $873,000. And yes, some experts believe it could go for even more, potentially into the millions. Now, before you sprint to the couch cushions, let me tell you a story. In 1975, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of pennies. To most, they were pocket change. But among them, a handful were struck with such rare characteristics, subtle minting errors, near perfect condition, that they became hidden treasure. Coins that quietly sat in drawers, passing from hand to hand, without anyone realizing they were holding a ticket to financial freedom. The kind of wealth that could wipe out debt, change your family's future, and give you the life you've dreamed about. And here's the truth: someone out there still has one. Maybe it's you, but let me stop you before you rush to eBay thinking you can retire by tomorrow. Not every 1975 D penny will fetch a fortune. The rare ones have a mix of precise factors, die varieties, sharp details, uncirculated quality, and yes, sometimes errors so tiny you'd need magnification to spot them. That's what separates the 1-cent pocket change from the nearly $1 million masterpiece. Imagine the horror of cashing one in at the grocery store, only to later discover you literally spent a fortune on milk and bread. That's the fear you should have if you're not looking closely, the exciting part. These coins are still turning up. A retired schoolteacher in Colorado found hers while rolling up pennies for the bank. She had no idea it was special until a dealer nearly dropped it in shock. And here's where the urgency kicks in: as more people become aware, the chance to discover one dwindles. Collectors and dealers are combing through collections at an unprecedented rate. Every day, another rare penny is found, graded, and taken off the market forever. So how do you know if yours is the jackpot? This is where the detective work begins. You start with the mint mark, the small D under the date, showing it came from the Denver Mint. Then you examine the condition: full, sharp details on Lincoln's hair and beard, no scratches visible without magnification, and a rich original luster. For the most valuable examples, even the tiniest imperfections are absent. And here's the cliffhanger: some of the most valuable 1975 D pennies aren't just pristine, they contain minting errors so rare that only a few are known to exist. What are those errors? We'll get to that in a moment. First, let's reset your attention with a quick question. What's the most you've ever spent on a cup of coffee? $4, maybe $5. Now imagine dropping $800,000 on a penny. Sounds insane, right? Yet serious collectors do it without hesitation because they understand rarity, historical value, and the prestige of owning the best. That's the world you step into when you uncover one of these treasures. Now, about those errors, they can include doubled dies, where the design elements look slightly shadowed or doubled, and off-center strikes, where Lincoln's profile is shifted on the coin's surface. Sometimes the mistakes are microscopic, and only a trained eye will recognize them. These flaws transform a common penny into a once-in-a-lifetime find. And that's why authentication is everything. Sending a coin to a professional grading service could be the difference between a collector offering you a few dollars and wiring you nearly $1 million. If you're wondering where to start searching, the answer is simple: everywhere. Old coin jars, inherited collections, yard sales, even the change you get at the grocery store. The beauty of this hunt is that the prize could be anywhere, hiding in plain sight. But here's the twist: the longer you wait, the fewer chances remain. Every day, another potential fortune is found by someone else. And when the market gets saturated with discoveries, prices could drop. That's why those who act now are the ones who win big. Picture this: you're holding that rare 1975 D penny in your hand, the light glinting off its surface. You know its true worth, and in that moment, you realize life is about to change. No more worrying about bills. No more waiting years to take that dream vacation. That's the promise this coin holds, but only for those who recognize it before it slips away. So here's your call to action: check your coins today. Do it with care, with knowledge, and with urgency. Because somewhere out there, a penny worth up to millions is waiting, and the clock is ticking. And when you find it, you won't just be holding a coin, you'll be holding your future. Now, if you think you might have won, what comes next could be the most important decision you'll ever make, and in my next story, I'm going to tell you exactly how to sell it for the highest possible price without getting ripped off. But first, do you really trust yourself to spot it before someone else does? What if I told you that a single penny sitting in a dusty jar in your kitchen could be worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your entire retirement fund combined? And what if that penny wasn't gold, wasn't silver, and didn't sparkle under a jeweler's light, but was the same humble brown coin you've been ignoring your whole life? The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, an unassuming piece of copper that, in rare cases, has sold for eye-watering amounts, with current market values soaring as high as $869,000. Most people pass by pennies on the sidewalk. You might just be stepping over a fortune. The terrifying truth is that these coins are hiding in plain sight, and most owners never realize what they've got, until it's too late and someone else cashes in. Imagine finding one in your drawer, selling it, and suddenly being able to pay off every debt, travel first class, or buy that lakefront property you've always pictured yourself in. But here's the problem: the market is shifting fast, and the window to strike while values are peaking could be closing sooner than you think. Let's rewind for a moment. The year is 1978. Gas is cheap, disco is loud, and the Lincoln penny is everywhere. But a rare production anomaly means some of these coins slipped out without a mint mark, no little d for Denver, no s for San Francisco, no p for Philadelphia. To most people, it was nothing. To a serious collector, it's a glaring signal of rarity. And rarity, in the coin world, is the engine that drives prices into the stratosphere. But here's the kicker, not every 1978 penny without a mint mark will make you rich. Condition, strike quality, and subtle variations only trained eyes catch are what separates a coin worth 1 cent from a coin worth 6 figures. Now, before you go emptying every coin jar in your house, here's a quick attention check. When was the last time you even looked at a penny closely? If you can't remember, you're not alone. But that's exactly why stories keep popping up of average Americans finding life-changing coins by accident. One lucky seller in recent years turned a pocket find into hundreds of thousands of dollars because they acted fast, got the coin graded, and sold it while buyer demand was red hot. Meanwhile, others let their rare penny slip away in a yard sale for 25 cents. Ouch. So why now? Because collectibles markets work like waves, demand surges, prices peak, and then they level off or crash. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is riding a massive wave of collector interest right now. High-grade specimens certified by top grading agencies are setting records, with pristine examples closing at nearly $869,000. That's not hype. That's hard auction data. And when these coins come to market, there are always more hungry buyers than there are coins to sell, but here's where it gets really interesting, and maybe a little dangerous for your heart rate. There are subtle tells that can mean the difference between a penny worth a buck and a penny worth a beach house. Things like full sharp strikes, deep luster, and zero visible wear. Even a microscopic scratch could cut thousands from the value. And that's why the smartest sellers aren't trying to guess. They're taking their coins to trusted grading services, locking in authenticity and condition, and then letting competition between elite buyers drive the price sky high. Picture this, you open a small box from your childhood, sift through a pile of coins, and there it is, a 1978 penny with no mint mark, untouched, uncirculated, glowing like it was made yesterday. Your heart skips a beat. Do you toss it back in with the rest? Or do you realize you might be holding nearly $1 million between your fingers? That's the decision countless people are making right now, and every day you delay could mean watching this market cool off while your dream payday vanishes. And here's a fun twist, the people paying the most aren't always the ones you'd expect. Not just museums or old-school collectors, but wealthy investors looking to park money in tangible assets, people who see rare coins as a hedge against inflation, and even celebrities quietly building private collections. They're watching, they're bidding, and they're paying big, but only for the right coin, in the right moment. Which, by the way, could be right now. So, ask yourself, are you going to be the person who finds the treasure and acts, or the person who hears about the record-breaking sale after your coin is already gone? If there's one thing the rare coin market rewards, it's speed and knowledge. You don't need to be an expert, but you do need to know the basics of spotting value and the steps to sell for top dollar. Because once the big money buyers have filled their collections, this window could slam shut, leaving you with nothing but a story of what could have been. Now, you might be wondering exactly how to identify and sell one of these rare pennies. That's the cliffhanger, because in the next few minutes, we're diving into the telltale signs, the grading secrets, and the exact selling strategies that can turn a penny into a 6- or even 7-figure payday. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could be the single most profitable 5 minutes of your life.